Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel. In today's video, we're going to look at the possible outgoings and incomings in the current transfer window and the struggles Manchester United are facing, in particular, to shift out the deadwood in this current Manchester United squad. Get involved in today's video, Reds, as ever. We're just going to have a bit of a general chat, opinion-based, so get involved. Now, how are you, first of all?
Well, contrary to how a lot of people out there might think, I've woke up today with a sore head and an angry head. I'm positive. I actually woke up this morning, realised the transfer window, it is what it is. If we get a player in, fine. If we get a player out, fine. That's how I look at it. I'm positive. All the players are back in training. 9 days to go for the season to start. Saturday's here. We play Manchester City at Wembley. I'm positive. The transfer window will go as it goes. Yes, I am disappointed that we've not got players in, more players. I am disappointed that the exodus, what we all expected of players out of the club, hasn't materialised. But what I've looked at today, I've just looked at it and gone, hang on, the season starts in 9 days. Come on, United. That's how I'm looking at it.
Say it properly, come on, United.
Come on, United.
Yeah, that's better. Now, you're talking about the exodus in what you was expecting this summer. That's clearly having an effect on what players then we can bring in terms of what the transfer fees are as well, because certain clubs out there like PSG are putting like a 51 million price tag on Agati. Man United are clearly in no position to pay that. No,
they're in no position to pay that. We was told United haven't got the money. We need to get players out. And that's one of the disappointments. I just can't see it happening now, to be honest with you. What I see going to the end of the transfer.
Sorry, what do you mean you can't see happening, the Agati transfer? Or
yeah, I can't see many transfers happening now. I think what you can see is loan deals, you know, with the likes of possibly Eriksen, Sancho, one or two other players. I just can't see major things happening, and especially selling players. If we were told, which we was, that to buy players, we need to sell players. I can't see us selling players really at the moment. Possibly, maybe one, and that's on the edge. But I'm not worried about it. I am certainly not worried about it because the players are back. They know what they've got to do. Erik Ten Hag knows what to do. And we've got a full staff, new staff, behind the scenes, all ready to kick in and new ideas. And that's the way I'm going to be from now till the start of the season. Positive. I am honest.
9 days, that's 9 days. That's 9 days. A long time. A week's a long time in football.
Yeah, of course a week's a long time in football. But the reality is of what's going on here, okay, any player we wanted to sign should have been in a long time ago to start at the beginning of the season, which is next Friday, and they're not in. So that's a fact. So there's no point me worrying about it. I'm not holding my breath waiting for a player to come in. That's over. I'm not waiting for me breath, holding my breath, waiting for a player to go out. It's over. We've got what we've got. Anything what comes in or goes out is a nice little bonus at the end of it. That's how I'm looking at it.
You're not worried. Do you think Erik Ten Hag's worried? Are you worried out there as well? Get involved in the chat. As the current squad stands, you know, what's your realistic expectations for next season and where we'll finish in the Premier League? A lot of people have already got involved saying, you know, without injuries, they're looking at possibly 5th, maybe 4th. But if we occur in injuries like we did last season, you're looking at 8th again.
I think we've got problems. Without a doubt, how we get to the Champions League places, I don't know, compared to what the other teams are. Have we done anything to catch up in any way with them, with player signings or anything? No, we haven't. So we're going to struggle. It's going to be tough. But what you want is good football. What you want to see, right, is a tactics, is players motivated and everything going in the right direction. That's what you want. Will we get that? I'm crossing my fingers. I hope so.
Yeah, it has given me some positivity, though. We now they've got the deals done for Xerxes and Euro. Obviously, a big blow missing him at the start of the season with that injury. But it has given me positivity. And I've left it up at the bottom of the ticker now for 2 or 3 days. In the comments, Erik Ten Hag said on that the new leadership team is eager still to do business and get it done at the right opportunities. So we have got a few days left, couple of weeks at least left in the transfer window. So I do expect 1 or 2 signings to come in. It might be just the same old story later on in the transfer window. But let's see an improvement in terms of if we overpay on these transfer fees, which I highly doubt we will.
No, listen, we want some movement. we're not going to get what we really started at the beginning of the transfer window. Yes, you want players in. Are they going to be the right players at this time? We've seen it before. Desperation at the end. I don't see Ineos, Sir Jim Ratcliffe being desperate at the end. I think Erik ten Hag has got his complement now and might just add one or two, and which might come in as loans. But that's just for the short term. I think if you look at the first transfer window, what Ineos are dealing with, did we really expect more than 4 players to come in? I wanted centre forward, 2 centre halves minimum. That's not happened at the moment. It could still happen. But going forward, I don't think it's going to be easy in the league to get Champions League or up into Europe. But it's Man United. The attitude around the camp has changed, the personnel has changed, and all you can do is hope. And you know, you look round at some of the other Liverpool, for instance, they've not bought a player. Not bought a player. 1 or 2 other teams have bought players, sold players. I think it's going to be very, very tricky. You look at Tottenham, for instance.
I know you're looking at that, but you've got to also then look at their squads last season, where they finished in the league. They were much stronger than us last season. And based on the current squads now, you know, people out there would say the same. They're probably stronger than Man United as a squad. Yes, we did incur a lot of injuries, like I said, last season. So let's hope, fingers crossed, the majority of the squad stay fit over the course of the season. And on Liverpool, I've just seen Fabrizio Romano saying that Liverpool are going into talks for Zubimendi, a midfielder United have been linked with. And that's a position for me we need to get sorted before this window closes.
Yeah, but it's talks, and it's late on in the day for anyone to start talks with any player. Should have been done long ago. I'm not really sure when someone mentions talks now, it's actually fact. But
I'm going to take it from fact from Fabrizio Romano. There's a couple of others as well. I think David Ornstein might have tweeted it, that they've opened negotiations, and I think he's got a €60 million release clause as well. And like I say, another player that's been linked to Manchester United looks a quality player in my eyes.
Well, that's
only going to strengthen them.
Listen, that might be just their one target, and they could pay that fee. I think they're quite easy to pay that fee. They've not clearly gone out for many players. But that's Liverpool. But I still go back to it. Lots of teams haven't really made the push what I thought. Villa have made the push. I give them that. But you look at Tottenham, what were above us. They've not made a splash in the transfer market. We needed to make a splash in the transfer market. We also needed to make a splash getting players out. And it's not happened. But I'm not worried about it now. I just look at the squad and I think, right, you're all back in training now. Ten Hag's there, Van Nistelrooy's there, Hack's there. Things are going to change. The tactics are going to change. That's what I want. The only glimmer of a smile on my face where I think to myself about a player is actually Mason Mount over the pre-season. I see a player there, what looks fresh, what looks fit, and I think he might change a few people's minds, because there's a lot of people got a downer on him, but I can understand why they've got a downer on him.
Yeah, apart from 1 or 2 positives for me last season in terms of individual players like Manu and Garnacho, you know, there's a few players there that need to up it this season, and it's up to Ten Hag and the coaches to get the best out of the likes of Rashford again. Anthony on the right-hand side. A lot of people out there, including myself, feel Ahmad should be given a run of games at the start of the season to see if he can cement a place. But there's other players as well, and it's up to Ten Hag, because that's his job, let's face it, to get the best out of this squad.
Yeah, but it's not just Ten Hag's job now. Ineos have replaced people. They've come in, and they want to get these players playing to the top of the game. Some of them weren't. We all know that. It's a responsibility not just of Ten Hag here. It's a team effort now. I expect an improvement from every player. But if you're going to keep players, and that's the problem about the exodus, if you're going to keep players, what really should have been moved on, Bissaka clearly wants to go. United want a certain fee, and fair enough to United for sticking to the valuation, what they want. They're sticking to it. Might cause him a problem in the end, but he's got 1 year left of his contract. What I see about keeping players what want to go, got a year, walk out, where's the motivation? Where's the commitment? Will it be there? That's the problem with keeping players what clearly want to leave. And
You say he clearly wants to leave. I know that's your opinion.
Sorry. He clearly wants to leave now.
That's in your opinion. I don't believe.
And he clearly wants to leave at the end of his contract.
Yeah, despite which one, for me, I don't think he's in any rush to leave Manchester.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Well, I don't think he's in any rush to leave United right now to move to West Ham. Let's see what their manager can do. That new manager they've got, is it Lopetegui? They might just free fall at the start of the season. Then it'd have been a bad move all round for Bissaka. When he can see and assess his options here at Manchester United, they might get a host of other clubs, come January, where he's able to talk to other clubs and then work out a move in the summer. And I think that'll probably be best for him. But from me, from what I see, I don't think he wants to leave United. I think it's more or less Man United trying to push him out the door, myself. And Scott McTominay, which we'll get on to now, Fulham have been reported that they won't be going in for another bid for Scott because United's transfer fee demands is £30 million. Do you think that's a fair reflection on Scott with another year left on his deal?
I think that's a fair reflection based on the manager wants to keep him, thinks he's a good squad player, uses him in the right positions, and values him coming on as a substitute. He's turned the game. We know he has. So it's the right valuation. And I'm glad that United are sticking to the valuation. United aren't going to be pushed over on valuation. That's how it looks at the moment. So it's no problem that if it's not met the valuation, Scott McTominay staying with Manchester United because he's a valued member of the squad. Ten Hag wants to keep him, likes the player. So I don't see any problem if a bid comes in for any player and the valuation's met, then that's fine. That's what happens. Well, the valuation hasn't been met for Scott McTominay because United value him higher and the manager also values him as a good member of the squad. So for me, if he stays, that's great. If he goes, we've got the valuation, what we wanted. So,
I do get that. But I do see Ten Hag looking at Scott, like your own opinion, of a valued member of the squad.
Yeah.
With all the players fully fit, I don't think Ten Hag puts him in his starting 11.
Maybe not.
With a player that's got a year left on his deal, okay, 30 million for me sounds a bit steep, if you think about it, for a squad player. If Man United were going in for a squad player with a year left on the deal and we were paying them 30 million, you can imagine the uproar out there, being ripped off on transfer fees, etc.
Look, United value him at that.
Maybe Man United value him at that price because it'll take a lot more maybe to replace him. Would you say so?
Maybe, maybe not. I'm not too sure on their thinking. I just look at it and think he is a valued member of the squad and he has won us games.
Yes.
So to me, the value is right. If he stays, he stays. And I think United, Ten Hag, will be happy with him. United putting that valuation on him, is it a high valuation? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. No. And they're sticking to the guns, and that's good. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, of course.
They must have a plan if somebody doesn't meet that valuation of what they're going to do with Scott McTominay going down the line. There will be talks between the club and Scott McTominay going down the line.
Yeah, it does. It does seem, especially in the first summer transfer window, they are kind of trying to make a stand on transfer fees and what they're actually looking at selling players for instead of just selling them for peanuts. So I do get that, and I think that is a positive sign going forward as well.
Well, if you look at Bissaka and Scott McTominay, United are standing firm on the valuation, and that's what you want to see for the club. I do think that a deal with at least one of them will get done at the death.
Yeah.
Right at the death, right at the end of the transfer window. I think one deal of the two will be done. Which one? I'm not sure.
Yeah, Amrabat's come back into the talking, and I've seen a report there in the Telegraph that Ten Hag's not actually ruling him out of signing him again. So what do you think on Amrabat? What's your truthful opinion on him as a player?
I think he's a decent player. He opened my eyes in the cup final that he can do the job against Manchester City. Is the valuation too high? I think so. I think what it is, Amrabat with Ten Hag, he's always liked him. That's what I see with his comments last season. And I think what it is, he wants him in there. I think he realises I've got to get him in there because I'm not going to get the targets inside the club what I want. And I think he'll be valued. Well, Erik Ten Hag must value him because he talks highly of him. So let's get him in. But is that price too much? I think so. So 10 million, I think that's what United are looking at, really.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me, though, is he's been away from United now for 2 months. And apart from, like, speculation on Fenerbahce being interested, I've not seen any other clubs out there. And there's always clubs out there who could do with a defensive midfielder in the starting 11 or as a squad member. But I've seen no one interested or making any offers for him.
No.
And that sort of like worries me a little bit as well, that there's other top clubs out there, or even like mid-table clubs, not even like trying to buy him. And for me, I've never been like 100% on Amrabat. People can say out there, like, he didn't play that many games through injuries, etc., etc., etc. But I can only count on like one hand his good performances last season. And for me, I think there's other younger kids in there who could probably make the step up and do just as good a job. Yeah, he had a fantastic game against Man City, but didn't they all? They all played out the skins. But that sort of tactics does suit Amrabat and would suit a lot of defensive midfielders where you're playing a compact style of play, where the players are near enough arm's length instead of like big open gaps like we did see for the majority of the season in midfield. I don't think he's quick enough as well to cover the ground. Sometimes he can like dally on the ball a little bit where people can actually get the ball back off him and press him, you know, and get in and around him. And for me, I just think there's better out there. But it depends what Man United want to do. Do they want to boost the squad, beef that squad up? So they have got options to come off the bench, because that has been lacking in some seasons, hasn't it? So it is an option. But I just think, you know, in it time now to maybe try some of these youngsters.
I think,
you know, you've got Collier in there. I know he's not that sort of position, but you know, these other lads.
I think what you have to look at here, I think there might be an understanding between Erik ten Hag and Amrabat that there is targets United are going for, and listen, if we don't get them targets, we want you. And I think he wants to come back to Manchester United. So I don't think Amrabat is really looking elsewhere. I think he's expecting to get the call, because United will fail to get certain players inside the club, and I think he will be brought in maybe at the last minute. I think there might be an understanding with Amrabat. Hold your horses, don't start running away. Erik ten Hag sort of talking or spoken to him, well, certainly with his agent, and said, look, I want you in here, but we're just trying to do a few things. Hold your horses. I think that might be what's going on. Listen, I might be totally wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. Yeah,
it's a big worry for me, that midfield area. And I just feel if we don't bring another player in, I'm not saying one player will make a team or make that midfield better, but you'd like to think a player with better quality than Amrabat would actually like produce better performances in that midfield area, make us look a bit more compact, defensively right and sound set up. But for me, if you're going in with the same players in that midfield area, I don't know why you'd expect anything to change unless the tactics are drastically changing in what they want to do in the Premier League. That's just the way I'm thinking at the moment.
I'll go back to how I started this. I'm confident now. I'm concentrating on it. If you think, or anybody thinks out there, right, Amrabat, 20 million, or any other player, 20 million, United put a valuation on Ugarte. If anybody thinks that United are going to go out there before the end of the transfer window, at the end of August, are going to go out there and spend £60 million on a player, then I don't know where the thinking is. United haven't got the money. They're struggling. They're struggling to meet anyone's valuation of a good player, a top-class player to bring into Manchester United. I now don't see. That's why I'm not holding my breath on any transfers coming in, because we want top players. We want players what have got clearly a future by bringing them in at the right age. Good players at the right age going forward and paying decent money for them. That's not going to happen now. Ugarte was there and United are unwilling to meet the valuation of PSG. Now, some people might say, stick to your guns and all that. Well, United have made that choice. But to expect United now, in this short space of time, to go out there and spend 60 million on a player, I'm not holding my breath. That's why I'm not worried about what's going to come in and go out. What happens, happens. It's not going to be a big deal, I don't think. And we now have to just concentrate on what's coming. And that's Wembley, Man City, The league starts next Friday. That's in 9 days. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm positive going there. And I do think, I actually do think, right, that the people what are behind the scenes now, and I mentioned it before, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Ten Hag's there, and there's many, many other people. I think there's a different mood in the camp. So I'm looking at it, and I'm not too worried that we've got a lot of players. What a lot of people said, let's get out of here, starting again. Yes, on paper, it doesn't look good. But as we know, you don't win things on paper. You don't do anything on paper. It's what you do on the pitch. And I think this squad will be rejuvenated by what is going on around the club, and also looking forward to the future, how things are going to change. That's how I look at it.
To be honest with you, when you've just talked about people that brought in behind the scenes, the coaching, the suits, etc., when you think about it, that has actually been the main focus this summer, in actually changing all that, more so than the actual players on the field. Obviously, as fans, that's where the changes and the entertainment, the wins, we all want to see. But that's been their main focus, come to think of it, changing it all behind the scenes. And like we said earlier on, it's not going to be a quick fix until they get them people in, which more or less they've actually done now. So you'd say over the next 12, 18 months or so, we should then start seeing bigger changes with people in the squad.
That's why I'm not worried about this first transfer window now. They came in, Sir Jim Ratcliffe came in, and the thing was to change everything inside the club. That's been his main focus, because he knew there wasn't enough money to go out there and splash. He did say no more Galacticos for quite a while. And the reason being is cost-cutting exercises inside the club, getting rid of people, I won't say sacking, but just letting people go. He's replacing people, replacing them with better people. He knew, and everyone inside that club knew, the finances weren't there to go on a mad spree. Now, I've looked at it, I've woke up this morning and gone, that's it. That's the end of the transfer window, looking for top-class players. For me, it's over, and we just might do loan deals, bringing in, bringing out. And I think from the very beginning, they've known that, and that's why they've gone on a cost-cutting exercise, changing people and just, like, bringing decent people in. That's what they've concentrated on. Now, look forward to the season. That's how I see it now. Look forward to it. Let's do our best. Let's enjoy the ride. Let's hope we see entertaining football, and then look forward to see where we are. And let's see what the finances are next summer.
We're talking about entertaining football, and Andre Onana's actually promised us that he's going to be taking more risks next season with the ball at his feet. What do you think about that?
Well, risk is a risk, isn't it?
He says, yes, that's me. I think it's what you're going to see this season, because I will take a lot of risks. I can tell you that in advance already. Be prepared. Well,
he's telling us that because the players are going to go more forward. They're going to attack as a group, defend as a group. He's going to be more involved. But the problem with taking risks in that is actually not knowing that you're able to take a risk with the players in front of you and they can all trust you. That might not be an option for a few games. We know the problem with injuries, and we've always said it. Yes, Onana will get us off your seat, entertaining. That's great, but he needs the people in front of him on a regular basis. That might not happen. So, yeah, he's talking upbeat. I'm talking upbeat. And that's the way you've got to be at the start of the season. And good luck to him. But he also has to have it in his mind. Too many risks. And they will come at him.
The thing is, yeah, I actually thought similar myself when I first read it. I thought, if you're going to take some risks, don't tell the world that you're going to take risks, because, you know, the opposition, whether you're a forward, midfielder, or the person pressing you down, if he's set up looking to ping that ball to the right back or down our right-hand side, you know, that person pressing is going to think, hang on a minute, this person wants to take risks. I'm going to stand on my feet instead of lunging in to try and block it out, because he might do a Cruyff turn and knock it out to Luke Shaw at left back.
Style, tactics might change.
Do you know what I mean?
And it might catch them all out.
Yeah.
It might catch them all out.
How many times have we seen that when the goalie's tried to do that and he fumbles it? Or
yeah, but the thing is, he knows there's a change inside United and it's coming on the pitch. That's what he's expecting. That's what we're expecting. So, yeah, risk might be part of the tactics going forward for all the players. and he might just be might be highlighting it, but he's a character.
Yeah.
He does come out with things and that, and he's enthusiastic. And, you know, fair play to him. He's coming out. He's just telling you, I'm coming and I'm going to do it this year. Let's hope he does, because he is under big pressure.
Yeah, like most of the players, the squad.
Sancho.
Yeah, there's a lot of him. But I'd just like to thank everyone for joining us today, getting involved in the chat. If you've enjoyed the video, you want to help support us, smash a like on the video, and we'll be back tomorrow with another Manchester United chat. So get that notification on, please, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.